Hey there, great grower. This is Fritz Westover again, your viticulturist at Virtual Viticulture Academy and your host at the Vineyard Underground podcast. And I'm going to answer a question from a grower from the field today. This question came from a grower from Texas. And this grower had some strange symptoms showing on their leaves and weren't sure exactly what that issue was. So the grower said, I'm not sure if this is disease. It's early in the season, and we have a little bit of necrosis happening around the margins of the leaves and a little bit on our shoot tips. And it looks like these leaves are quite tender. They're only about maybe 4 to 8 inches out. And it's very obvious when I look at this, because I've seen this happen in many vineyards in the spring, that this vineyard was hit by a freeze. And I know this is the case because I've been getting a lot of calls around the time that this question came in about freeze damage in Texas, specifically in the Hill Country region. So I took a look at these photos, and one of the things about a spring freeze is it doesn't have to necessarily get down to below freezing to have damage. In fact, you can sometimes even have damage if your freezing temperatures are only at the margin, 32 or 33 degrees. And of course, there's a lot of other factors that go into that. But if you look around the margins of the leaves here, you'll see just a little bit of burn or singe on the outer margin of the leaf. Looking at this other photo, you can see it's consistent on all the leaves that were fully unfolded. And even some of the leaves at the tip that were not fully unfolded have a little bit of frost or freeze damage there as well. There's another photo here that was submitted that shows, fortunately, the flowers, tendrils, and shoot tips seem to be in good shape. So this, although it is a close call for a minor freeze scare and minor freeze damage, what the grower can be happy about here is that they still will sustain a crop for the season. So one of the things that happens with a late spring freeze is if it kills the shoot tip and the flowers stay green and healthy, a new shoot tip can grow from a lateral and take over the old shoot tip's position. And you can grow through the season almost seemingly as if nothing has happened. And there's no need to remove any of this dead tissue or treat it or spray it. Typically that dead tissue will dry up and just fall off of the vine. Or if it's an older leaf like this with some marginal necrosis, it may actually hang on for a while. But as the leaf expands and grows, you can expect a little distortion and cupping to occur, like we see is already beginning on this leaf here. So my recommendation for this grower is you're lucky that the freeze didn't take out primary shoot tips or flowers, so you still have a crop for the year. You can still shoot thin this vineyard normally. There's no need to spray anything proactively because of the freeze, but I do recommend you stay on whatever your standard spray program and timing on your schedule is based on your growth stage and phenology of your vine. And if you see any of that damaged tissue fading or dropping off, you don't need to do anything about that. Just let it fall naturally. The good news about that dead tissue is that we typically don't see powdery mildew or downy mildew or black rot growing on dead tissue. They're obligate pathogens which require living tissue. Sometimes we might see botrytis on dead tissue, very rare. And in this climate in Texas, not very common as well. So I hope this advice is helpful in getting you on the right track for the spring. And I hope you can rest assured that you don't have any major action to take in your vineyard. If this is a symptom you've seen in your vineyard, make sure you check what your temperatures were. It could very well be that you've seen freeze damage in the past and maybe had mistaken it for something else. Other things that can cause this type of scorch, I should probably mention, might be things like herbicide drift damage can cause some scorching on leaves, especially where the contact of the herbicide is touched. And maybe wind damage could cause some marginal necrosis like this too. So keep into consideration, there are other things that cause similar symptoms. In this case, we've diagnosed the problem in Texas as a late spring freeze, and fortunately not a devastating one. If this isn't helpful information for you, just make sure you check out virtualviticultureacademy.com, where I keep a bunch of other videos and resources to help you through whatever challenges you're seeing in your vineyard. And you can always listen in on the vineyardundergroundpodcast.com. Thanks for checking in today. See you on a future one.